Hey everyone. Financial freedom, it's something we all think about, and we're diving deep today into passive income. Those income streams that just keep flowing, even when you're not working.
Right.
I've been researching this a lot lately, watching videos, taking notes, and I thought, would it be great to have an expert weigh in?
Mm.
Especially for you guys, the entrepreneurs, the small business owners, anyone looking to really level up their finances.
I'm with you. It's a hot topic, and honestly, there's a lot of misinformation about passive income. What it really is, how to build it.
Exactly. You hear those stories, make money while you sleep.
Right.
But when you try to actually do it, it's not that easy.
No, not at all. First things first, we got to debunk this myth of passive income because everything takes effort. It's more about setting up systems, assets that generate income without you, micromanaging every transaction. The analogy I always use is writing a book. You put in the work up front, writing, editing, publishing. But once it's out there, it can keep making money even when you're not promoting it.
Perfect analogy. Speaking of putting in the work up front, if you're finding this helpful, hit that like button, share this episode. We want to get this info out there. Now, let's get specific. I found this video recently. It broke down 9 different passive income strategies. Stocks, YouTube, podcasting, even stuff like building apps. It was pretty eye-opening. Each one's got its own path, its own hurdles. What do you think is a good place to start unpacking all this?
Well, maybe we start with what people consider the most passive. Stocks.
Okay, yeah, stocks. Always makes me curious. Seems like an easy way to dip your toes into passive income, especially if you're not ready for a full-blown online business.
Definitely. And for a lot of people, index funds are a good entry point.
Index funds?
Yeah, think of them like baskets of stocks tracking a market index like the S&P 500.
Gotcha.
So you're diversifying, spreading your risk across a bunch of companies, not just picking individual stocks.
So it's more like betting on the overall market performance.
Exactly. And the beauty is once you set it up, they need very little management. It's a long game.
Okay, that makes sense. But how much do you need to invest to see any decent return?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
Everyone wants to know that. It all depends on what your goals are, your risk tolerance. But to give you an idea, let's say you want an extra $100 per month in passive income.
That
Assuming an average return of, say, 10% per year, you'd need around $12,000 invested.
Okay, that's helpful to know the scale of it. But isn't the stock market super unpredictable? How can people approach this safely?
Yeah, you're right. It fluctuates. That's why the long-term mindset is key. Don't try to time the market, chase those quick wins. Just invest consistently over time. You can even automate it. Set up regular contributions to your investment account, even if it's a small amount to start. Compounding works wonders over time.
Compound.
Your earnings generating even more earnings. It's powerful stuff.
Gotcha. So it's not about getting rich overnight.
No. It's building wealth steadily.
That's it.
Okay, so we've got the basics of stocks down. Let's switch gears. What about something more hands-on? Building an online presence, like using YouTube.
Interesting.
What do you think about that, especially for entrepreneurs, small business owners?
It's huge these days for good reason. YouTube's got a massive audience. You can build a loyal following. The cool thing is you're using your knowledge to potentially reach a global audience.
Right. But it's not just upload a few videos and boom, you're rich. Right.
Oh, no. There's this myth that you just go viral, get millions of views overnight. But building a successful YouTube channel, it takes time, effort, and strategy.
Just like with investing, you got to have realistic goals.
Absolutely. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results instantly. And one thing I've noticed is successful YouTubers really stress consistency.
Consistency.
Yeah, it's not just about the content being good. It's about consistently putting out good content that builds your audience, establishes you in your niche.
So it's like you're showing up reliably. Exactly. Now, a lot of people wonder about the money side of YouTube. Can you make a decent living? Or is it more of a side hustle?
Yeah, good question.
You can definitely earn a good income, but you got to understand how the platform works. Ads are a big part of it. But to even qualify for monetization, you need at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the past 12 months.
Oh, wow. So it's not just about views. It's about people actually engaging.
That's the key. And even when you're monetized, income can fluctuate depending on ad rates, how many people are watching, how much they're interacting. But there's more to it than just ads. A lot of YouTubers diversify. Brand deals, sponsorships, merchandise, even their own digital products or courses.
So it's like using your channel to build a whole business ecosystem.
Exactly. If you love creating content and you want to build an audience, YouTube can be amazing for passive income. But you got to be strategic and know that it takes time for those big results to show up. And that kind of leads us to another content creation strategy a lot of people find appealing: podcasting.
Podcasting, yeah. It's definitely on the rise, especially with entrepreneurs. It feels a lot more personal compared to something like YouTube.
It is that intimacy and the fact that you can listen anywhere. That's a big draw. As for the income, it can be good, but it works a little differently than YouTube. YouTubers, they rely a lot on ad revenue.
Right.
Podcasters, it's more about brand deals, sponsorships.
So instead of algorithms and views, you're focusing on relationships with brands.
Exactly.
That makes sense. But doesn't it seem harder to build a big audience for a podcast compared to YouTube? You don't have that same algorithmic push.
You've got a point there. Growing a podcast audience, it's more organic. It's a different kind of hustle. YouTube's algorithm can put your content in front of tons of people, even when you're just starting out. Podcasting, you have to be more proactive, get your show out there, find the right listeners.
So it's more word of mouth, cross-promotion, really engaging with your listeners.
You got it. And that community, that's key. As we've seen, having an audience unlocks a lot of these passive income streams.
So we've got the audience thing down.
Right.
Let's talk about a strategy that seems to be everywhere these days: affiliate marketing.
Right.
I'll admit, I'm still a little fuzzy on how it actually works.
Can you explain it in a way that an 8th grader could understand?
Sure. It's basically this. You get a commission for promoting other people's stuff, products, services, whatever. You're like a connector. You introduce your audience to something you think they'll like, something that fits your niche.
Okay.
They buy it through your special link, you get a cut of the sale.
So it's like being a brand ambassador, but instead of a flat fee, you earn based on how much you sell.
That's a great way to think about it. And the best part, it's easy to get started. Tons of programs out there, from Amazon to individual companies.
Sounds pretty simple, but I'm guessing there's more to it than just throwing a link up on your website.
For sure. You need a strategy.
Yeah.
And a lot of it goes back to what we've been saying, the audience.
Right. The bigger, the more engaged they are, the more likely they'll click those links, actually buy something.
It all comes back to providing value, building trust, so they see you as a reliable source.
You nailed it. And that leads to another important part: choosing the right products to promote.
You can't just shill anything.
No way. They have to align with you, with your brand, and you got to actually believe in them.
Authenticity, right.
Big time. People can spot a fake from a mile away. If you're just in it for the commission, it shows and it hurts your credibility.
They can feel it, that lack of genuine enthusiasm.
For sure. Let's switch gears again. Let's talk digital products.
Ooh, this one's exciting. Creating something once and selling it forever. That's the dream.
It is pretty appealing.
But what kind of digital products are we talking about here?
So many possibilities. Ebooks, online courses, templates, even things like stock photos, website themes, you name it.
Wow, that's a lot. The key, though, is creating something that solves a problem for your audience.
Absolutely. It's like any business. Find a need, fill that need. The cool thing with digital products is low overhead costs, you keep more of the profit.
I like that. So we've got affiliate marketing, digital products. Now, what about online courses? It seems like a natural step for someone who's already making content, building an audience.
It is. It's a great way to package your knowledge, sell it, and platforms like Skillshare or Udemy make it super easy to create and host courses.
Right. Built-in audience, they handle payments, hosting, all that technical stuff.
Yeah, huge time saver.
But what about someone who wants more control over their pricing, their branding?
You can always go solo. Create your own course, sell it on your website. More flexibility, but more work on your end too, with marketing and sales.
So it's like a trade-off.
Yeah.
Convenience versus control.
Exactly. And don't forget about platforms like Patreon. A lot of creators use it, even offering courses as part of their membership tiers.
Patreon's great for connecting with your biggest fans, building that recurring revenue through memberships, which ties in nicely with the next thing I wanted to talk about: building membership communities.
Membership communities.
Feels like a lot of entrepreneurs are curious about it, but also it seems tough to get right.
It takes effort. It's not just setting up a Facebook group and calling it a day.
Yeah.
You need real engagement, a strong value proposition that makes people join and stay active.
So it's about creating a sense of belonging, giving them exclusive content they can't get anywhere else.
Think of it like a VIP club. They feel valued, supported. That value can be anything: exclusive content, early access to products, live Q&As, even offline events.
And to make money from it, you need different membership tiers.
Right, got it. Different levels of access, different benefits. People can choose what fits them best.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It attracts a wider range of people.
Right. The more options, the better.
By the way, if you guys are loving this breakdown of passive income, hit that like button, share it around, let's spread the knowledge, help each other build that financial freedom.
All right, let's move on to a strategy that's super relevant for business owners who are already established, looking to add some passive income streams to what they've already built, automating or delegating parts of their businesses.
That's a good one. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. My business has been growing, and I'm realizing, like, I got to find ways to free up my time, focus on the stuff that really makes a difference.
It's a classic entrepreneur problem, right? We're so in the weeds day to day, we forget to zoom out. But to scale your business, create more freedom, you got to work smarter, not harder.
I like that. Work smarter, not harder.
That often means automating or delegating things that other people can handle.
Okay, so finding those tasks that are important but don't need your specific touch.
Exactly. What are those repetitive things you do over and over? Could you automate them with software, tools, or delegate them to a virtual assistant, someone on your team?
Makes sense. For me, I'm thinking things like scheduling social media, managing emails, even some customer service stuff could be automated or delegated.
There you go. And that frees you up to do the high-level stuff. Strategy, product development, building relationships with those key clients.
It's all about using your time the best way possible.
Exactly. Now, for our final passive income strategy today, building apps or software products. This one might seem intimidating, especially if you're not a tech person.
It does feel a bit out there.
But it has huge potential for passive income.
I always wondered about this one. Creating something people use and pay for regularly. That's the ultimate goal.
It is pretty sweet. It does take specific skills and resources, though.
For sure.
Building software, it needs a certain level of technical know-how, but there are so many resources out there now. Coding boot camps, online courses, even platforms where you can build simple apps without any coding.
No coding, really.
So even if you're not a developer, you can still give it a shot. The key, just like with anything else, is finding a problem people will pay to solve.
So again, it comes back to knowing your market.
Knowing your market, understanding their needs, and building something that truly helps them.
Got it. So what about the business model? How do people usually make money from apps?
One popular model is software as a service, or SaaS. People pay a subscription to access the software.
Ah, so that's how you get the recurring revenue.
Exactly. But of course, marketing and selling your app is just as important as building it.
So it's not just about making a cool product. You got to get it out there.
You got it. You need to know who you're selling to, what your message is, and how to reach them. Which brings us back to that theme we've been talking about all along, the audience.
It always comes back to the audience, doesn't it?
It does. Building an audience gives you a platform to promote what you're doing, share your expertise, and ultimately make more money.
Wow, we've covered so much today. Investing, YouTube, podcasting, apps. It's amazing how many ways there are to generate passive income. But as we talked about, each one has its own challenges, its own rewards. So what are the big takeaways for our listeners who are ready to start building their own passive income streams?
The biggest one. Passive income isn't about getting rich quick or sitting on a beach doing nothing. It's about the work you put in up front. Building valuable assets, creating systems, making something that genuinely helps other people.
And patience, right.
Yeah.
It takes time.
For sure. Rome wasn't built in a day. You need a long-term vision, set realistic expectations, and be open to learning and adapting as you go.
This has been so insightful. Thanks for sharing all this with us.
Happy to do it. And remember, even the longest journey starts with a single step. What's one small step you can take today to get closer to your passive income goals?
That's the question, folks. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, share it with your network. Keep learning, keep growing, keep building that business and life you dream of. We'll see you next time.